Love and greetings to each one of you. Today's topic is the art and science of happiness. Happiness is both an art and science. If you search on Google on this topic, happiness, you get numerous 50, 60 articles on that, so many authors. Psychologists, scientists, all walks of life. You get articles by them. But most of these articles deal with the art of happiness. But here, today, we will also talk about the science of happiness. Art is subjective, but science is objective. If it works for you, it must work for me too, and for him and for her, for all. That is science. It works for everyone. What are the principles by which you can be happy, which work for all? That is science. And the science of happiness, which we are going to talk about today, this is coming from ancient Indian wisdom flowing through rishis, saints. What is happiness? Happiness, it is something beyond being peaceful. Peace is sort of neutral state where we don't have any agitations. But happiness is something positive. Genuinely we are joyful inside. That is what we want. Beyond and above peace. We are not talking about the joy we feel when something good happens. We are talking about the joy which we must feel even when something bad happens. That is, we should be joyous not necessarily because of some pleasant and favorable conditions. We should be joyous in spite of unpleasant and adverse conditions. Don't you agree with that? We should be joyful always, irrespective of the conditions. That is the joy we are talking about. So I cannot be happy if my body is restless. And I cannot be happy if I am emotionally disturbed, nervous, anxious, or apprehensive, or fearful, or stressful. Under these negative emotions, I cannot be really happy. If we can somehow conquer this physical restlessness, and if we can conquer these negative emotions scientifically, then we are joyful scientifically. Don't you agree with that? That is what we are looking at. And for me, in this life, the greatest revelation is the existence of inner joy. There is that inner joy which doesn't depend on external conditions. That is the greatest revelation for me in this life. The joy of discovering that inner joy. That's what we should be careful to. We should be grateful to our Gurudev for bringing this revelation. Guruji, Paramahansa Yogananda said, ordinary life is like a pendulum, ceaselessly swinging back and forth. The peaceful person remains calm until he is ready to work. Then he swings into action. As soon as he is through, he swings back to the center of calmness. And how true it is, people are like pendulum, swinging all the time back and forth, very busy, very active. But a peaceful person is active. But when he is through with the action, he comes back to the center of calmness. That's what we want. If we observe around, we find people are either busy or unhappy. Most people think that when they are busy, they think they're happy because they think they're very useful and doing something. When they're not doing that something, they're unhappy. They're either busy or unhappy. But we should come to a point where we should be busy or happy all the time. That is what we are looking for. Addressing the common need for the inner peace, Gurudev Paramahansa Ji said, "You cannot buy peace. You must know how to manufacture it within, in the stillness of your daily practices in meditation." Those who meditate feel a wonderful inner quiet. Meditation is the most practical science in the world. Mark his words. No, you cannot buy peace. We cannot buy peace. That we know. But next statement, that you should know how to manufacture it within. When I first read this statement, I was a little perplexed. Manufacturing? Manufacture means a factory. Factory means restlessness. How can we manufacture peace in a factory? That's how my thoughts were at that time. But later I understand, yes, meditation, when we meditate, we are manufacturing peace. And as Guruji says that this is most practical science, meditation. Meditation goes very scientifically. When we do that, the result is peace, joy. But peace is a simple word for me. I would say it is the deep, unconditional joy. Deep, deep, unconditional joy. Joy is not unknown to me. No, I am joyful on many occasions. When I eat some good food, I am joyful. When I meet some good person, I am joyful. When I hear some good news, I am joyful. But this joy that comes out of deep meditation is completely different. It's completely different. It's beyond imagination. We have to experience that. That is the joy we are talking about. And the process of manufacturing that joy through meditation, that is science of happiness. Scientifically, you achieve that. You experience that. So meditation stills the ripples of restless thoughts, emotions, and sensations on the lake of our mind. These ripples are there, sensations, emotions, restless thoughts. Stilling these ripples takes practice, effort, and time. Here, our ancient rishis, who are spiritual scientists, have experimented over centuries and found one fundamental truth. That is, mind and breath are interrelated. Mind and breath are interrelated. This is what ancient rishis found. We cannot easily control our mind. We all know that. The more we want to try to control our mind, the more astray it goes. But we can control mind using our breath. And our ancient rishis went ahead, also given procedures how to control the mind using the breath. These are pranayama techniques, meditation procedures. That is the greatest contribution we have from ancient Indian wisdom. yoga principles. So we control the mind using breath by scientifically proven techniques of meditation. And okay, we may have mind control through some pranayama techniques. Mind control may be there, but does it guarantee the joy, inner joy? That's a question. That's our goal. That happiness is our goal. Joy is what we are looking for. But how does meditation give that? See, meditation, when it suppresses, control these ripples of emotions, sensations, restless thoughts, it gives stillness within. No, it brings stillness without ripples. When there is stillness, we get interiorized, we go inside. And what is inside? Satchidanand. That's it. And we have the very great assurance from Taittiriya Upanishad, which says that from joy we have come, for joy we live, and in that sacred joy, one day we shall melt again. That means the source of our being is joy. There is joy inside. And the words of an Upanishad cannot go wrong. And when we meditate scientifically, we are going inside. When you go inside, you are contacting the joy within. That's how. It's guaranteed. When meditation goes well, when you go deep, when you touch that inner core of your being, pratyahara, antarmukhi, interiorization, there you are joyful. You are that. You and me, we are all made of that substance. That is Satchidananda, ever existing, ever conscious, ever new. Joy is there. And meditation is the way to touch that. Guruji said, the after effects of Kriya brings with them the utmost peace and bliss. That the joy that comes with Kriya is greater than the joys of all pleasurable physical sensations put together. What a grand assurance. The joy that comes from Kriya is greater than all the pleasurable joys we can get from all our senses. It is so deep, so unique, that we have to taste it. That's the assurance given with Kriya. And in Bhagavad Gita, Guruji's interpretation, unattracted to the sensory world, the yogi experiences the ever-new joy inherent in the self. Engaged in divine union of the soul with spirit, he attains bliss indestructible. Again, the assurance is that when you meditate, you go inside. When you go inside means you are in touch with that indestructible bliss. Not simple peace, very active, active joy. That's the beauty of all the great gurus, saints, sages. They not only explain how, what is peace, what is joy, they also given the techniques, they are given the procedures. We only have to follow them faithfully. Swami Smaranananda said in Autobiography of Yogi, after the mind had been cleared by Kriya Yoga of sensory obstacles, meditation furnishes a twofold proof of God. Ever new joy is evidence of His existence, convincing to our very atoms. Also, in meditation one finds His instant guidance, His adequate response to every difficulty. After practicing Kriya, when these ripples are gone, sensory obstacles are gone, then that experience we have, that itself gives twofold proof, that existence of that inner joy, existence of God within. And also, in that state we get inner guidance for every challenge of life. That is the proof. In modern times, everything is being pursued scientifically, like learning scientifically, management, scientific principles, games, even running scientifically, how you should run. So even seeking joy or practicing religion must be scientific. It must be scientific. What does it mean? Practicing religion scientifically, seeking joy scientifically. What does it mean? Simple. It means to apply well-tested methods to attain definite results. Well-tested methods are for meditation to attain definite results. Bliss within, guidance for our challenges. It is as simple as that. It is there inside. But see, our case is something like this. Imagine a man locked inside a room, is locked. Any amount of effort to escape into freedom through roof or through walls is not going to be successful. What is the solution? Get a key and open the door. Out comes he into freedom. Similarly, there is joy, but I am locked up. Whatever, call it ignorance or call it whatever, it's locked up. The solution is get the key. Kriya Yoga is the key. When you do that, chakras open. And we get in touch with that joy which is already existing there within. We are not going to get something outside. It is there. We get in touch with that. That's the key of Kriya. Now, we'll talk about science. If you just meditate, what's happening? Why it gives that joy? How we go inside? The science behind this. Meditation is going beyond the senses in one way. So suppose we want to think of the joy within. We want to interiorize. There is joy. I would like to think about it. I want to touch it. I want to concentrate within. But the moment I start, I hear this noise of air circulation. Something air circulation is going on here. But here I continue to think inside. But that air circulation is coming into my attention. It doesn't stop there. Although I'm talking of God, thinking of God or whatever it is, practicing some Kriya technique, whatever it is, immediately the mind goes to the AC that's giving noise in my own home. So suddenly my mind goes, saying, oh, I have to get that AC repaired. And I'm still going on. Inside, I'm trying to be inside. But I have gone to my home with the AC repairs. And then another thought comes. Last time that AC repairer, that mechanic did not do a good job. I have to find something else. But tomorrow I will go. But tomorrow there seems to be a bandh. Let it go on, mind. Here I want to interiorize myself, trying to go within. But I am disturbed by this air circulation, noise coming from this duct. What is the culprit? Is that duct air culprit that is disturbing me? No, it's my ear. This ear is the one sensation. It brought the sensation, and that triggered a thought. Then memory thoughts is going on. So I can't find fault with that. If it's not this, but somebody may cough while I'm meditating, and that may take me to a hospital. We don't know. So the disturbance is not that. The culprit is this. This is the culprit. But so I have to go beyond this sensation. Similarly, eyes, nose, tongue, skin, all these things being sensations. I have to go beyond these sensations. Now, how do I stop listening to sounds from outside. Any amount of cotton here is not going to prevent the sounds. The example is this. Suppose you want to get hot water. You put an immersion heater in a bucket of water, and after some time, water starts boiling. Then you don't want any more heat. What do? Do you go and put a cloth around the immersion heater? No. All that you do is just simply switch off the electric current that is energizing this immersion heater. Similarly, any amount of cotton is not going to help. I have to switch off the life force, prana shakti, that is energizing my ear. That life force I have to switch off. Similarly to other senses. But how do I switch off the life force? Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. Example is sleep. In sleep, you don't listen to sounds. Even if a mosquito lands on your toe, you may not even feel. Sensation is withdrawn. How? Because the life force is withdrawn in sleep. It's possible, but it's passive. Mind is not in our control in sleep. But that has to be done scientifically so that we feel that freedom from sensations. How is it possible? Simply, we have to switch off the flow of life current. Prana. That is pranayama. Pranayama, control of life force. How do we do that? See, entire universe is filled with cosmic energy that enters through medulla. And from here it goes and becomes life force and gets circulated. And how does it circulate? Here, we don't have any control. There's no switch here for us. But God has provided us with a secondary switch, that's the heart. What is the function of heart? Heart pumps impure venous blood into lungs, and lungs take oxygen through the nose, and this oxygen purifies this carbon-laden impure blood, and the purified blood is pumped back to all body parts by the heart. When blood is circulated to all body parts, that time life force gets circulated to all body parts. So if I want to switch off the flow of life force, I have to switch off my heart. If I switch off my heart, there is no blood flow, there is no flow of life force, and senses are free. But that's not what is desired. I can't switch off my heart. I should not. But the need for the heart to circulate the blood, that can be reduced. Why heart is functioning? Heart is pumping as long as there is venous blood, impure blood. When there is impure blood, carbon-laden impure blood, that has to be purified. Heart has to function. And why there are impurities in the blood? See, the human body is made of billions and billions of cells. Each cell has an independent existence. A cell is born, it lives for some time, and it decays. And when it decays, cell decays, it produces carbon. And that carbon, by some process of osmosis or whatever, it goes into blood, turning into that impure blood, blue blood. So as long as the cell decay is there in this body, cells are going to decay, carbon is going to be there, and blood becomes impure. So meditations, when we meditate, the cell decay is reduced. Cell decay is reduced. When cell decay is reduced, carbon is reduced. Hence, impure blood is reduced. Hence, heart has less work to do because there is less impure blood. And when blood circulation slows down, and then life force also calms down like in sleep, and senses do not receive that energy, and they are under control. And there are some meditation procedures. They involve special breathing, through which we take excess oxygen. This excess oxygen we are taking into the system that come directly decarbonized system, not through going through heart and all that. Decarbonized system, and that way also carbon is reduced, impure blood is reduced, and heart takes rest. When heart takes rest, there is control of prana, life force. That's how it scientifically it works. And when the senses are under our control, they don't bring sensations. They don't disturb us like in sleep. But here very active, not in sleep, passive. We are active here. And then that mind is completely under our control. We focus on what is inside. That is Satchidanand. That is how it happens. And we call Jitendra, one who conquered Indriyas, that is senses, that is this Jitendra. You become a Jitendra, I become a Jitendra when we practice meditation properly, because we are conquering our senses. Even in a wakeful state, but I am not disturbed by sounds. I am not disturbed by sensations, cool and warm sensations. That is Jitendra. That is our goal. Meditation helps us to do that. And when we go inside, this is scientifically happening. We are doing something with your breath. You see here, something you are, and that in turn controls life force. That in turn controls the senses. Scientifically it's happening. The result is, if you go inside, interiorization, free from the sensations. Free from the sensations. All this is happening scientifically. And when we do that, the result is joy. That means this is science of happiness. Scientifically, we can attain that joy inside. One thing, briefly, I mentioned about what happens scientifically, and we may not be able to completely understand. Still, there may be questions, how, this, that, etc. Fortunately, we don't have to understand how it works. All that we have to do is how we have to practice the techniques. That's enough. For instance, I don't understand how I digest my food. No, there are enzymes and the intestine, the stomach, whatever, abdomen. So something is happening. I don't know how do I digest my food. Just the same. I eat 3 times a day and be benefited. Similarly, we don't have to understand how meditation works. Just understand how to practice meditation and do it. And it will work. Actually, it's better not to think about how it works. Otherwise, we'll sit there to practice with Kriya and Hamsa and think about how it's happening now. How many blood cells? How is blood circulation? It might not be going in this wrong direction. So, start meditating with a blank mind that way. It will work. It will work. Paramahansa Yogananda said, if at this moment you could completely calm your mind, calm your body, your thoughts, and your emotions, you would instantly become aware of your true self, the soul, and your great body of the universe throbbing with the joy of God. So at this point, if you completely calm your body, thoughts, emotions, immediately you feel the joy because you are in touch with your real self, which is joy itself. That is science of happiness inside. See, that's why Bible says, be still and know I am God. That stillness. And Adi Shankaracharya says, Nischala Tattve Jivan Muktihi. This is from Bhajagovindam. Satsangatve Nissangatvam. Nissangatve Nirmohatvam. Nirmohatve Nischala Tattvam. Nischala Tattve Jivan Muktihi. Mukti means what? Salvation, ultimate goal. Nischala Tattve, stillness is one step below the salvation. All other things are leading to this. All other things are leading to this stillness, which gives us the experience of that indwelling God, divinity. So it is that important. So all that we need to do is practice well-tested scientific techniques of meditation. Result is same, bliss. What is the goal of life? Now, one may not become an accomplished artist, or a musician, or a sports person, or a scientist, an engineer, a medical doctor, or a movie actor. Now, one may not become any of these things, but everyone can become that yogi, where he can still his emotions and thoughts and go within and experience the divinity. Each one of us, and that is the real goal of life. We can all go inside. Meditation is the key. No, in YSS website, this is written. I would like to read out. When meditation is practiced scientifically, you can calm the mind, breath, and heart, and take your energies inside, where you can perceive your soul's oneness with bliss. Again and again, the assurance is you will contact that bliss within. Bliss within. Procedure is that. Okay. Now, that's about science of happiness. Scientifically, we can achieve happiness. Now, we'll look into the other aspect, art of happiness. Art. No, it is natural for all of us to want to be happy. Not only we, even God wants us to be happy. Actually, spiritually speaking, sadness is an offense against the soul within. Sadness is an offense against God. We are offending God when we are sad. We are pleasing God when we are joyful. Guruji said, in a time of misfortune, I heard thy voice saying, the sun of my protection shines equally on thy brightest and thy blackest hours. Have faith and smile. Sadness is an offense against the blissful nature of spirit. Let my life transforming light appear through the transparency of smiles. By being happy, my child, thou dost please me. This is what God is saying. By being happy, my child, thou dost please me. Just by being happy, not having complaints, not having that sad feeling. We are pleasing God. We are pleasing Divine Mother. By being happy, thou dost please me. So in addition to these scientific principles of meditation, we can also take advantage of many other principles which give us happiness, definitely. Guruji also has mentioned many of them, other than meditation. We look into some of them. First principle is choose to be happy. You have to choose to be happy. You should decide to be happy. I read out one quotation of Guruji, Paramahansa Yogananda, which makes it very clear. You have the power to hurt yourself or benefit yourself. If you do not choose to be happy, no one can make you happy. Don't blame God for that. And if you choose to be happy, no one can make you unhappy. It is we who make of life what it is. First, there should be determination. I want to be happy. There should be determination inside. And that it starts from there. Even from meditation is for that reason. Because I am determined to be happy, I would like to meditate regularly. So that determination should be there. In some other place, Guruji said, if it is happiness you want, have it. There is nothing that can stop you. So that's first principle. Make up your mind. I would like to be happy. I will be happy. Second principle. Smile. Just smile. That also makes you happy. It's not that you have to be happy to be smile. So if you smile, it will make you happy. Why? Again, there's principle behind that. Smile helps the brain produce dopamine. That can help you feel happier. It's a chemical that's produced as soon as you smile. It produces. Guruji coined a phrase, be a smile millionaire. Bhaktananji was saying once, Guruji used to say, you may not be a financial millionaire, but you can be a smile millionaire. This is what Guruji is encouraging us, be a smile millionaire. So I would like to tell you something here. See, in this life, I am Smaranananda. You cannot be Smaranananda. That is decided. I am Smaranananda, you are not. But you can be Smilananda. No one is going to prevent you that. And there is no competition. You can be, you, she, everyone can be Smilananda. Take that. You don't think of becoming a Smaranananda, but become Smilananda. Who will prevent? That's where it all starts. I want to be a Smilananda. Now, there is another interesting thing that happened to me. Once I was visiting our SRF temple in Phoenix, Arizona. Then initially I spent some time with children's Satsanga. After that time, they were calling me Smilananda, because Smaranananda is too much for them. SMA, RANA, it is too much. Smilananda. Smile is something they are familiar with. So I have already become a Smilananda. Smilananda. You can also become. Smile. That helps. And something happens here. Third, exercise. Physical exercise. That helps. Depending on your age, health conditions, depend. There are variety of exercises. Choose something, but you must exercise something. It helps to reduce stress and anxiety. And more importantly, it boosts self-esteem. If you exercise, that boosts self-esteem. Why? When you do it, you feel that I too can do it. I'm not lazy. Usually it's because of laziness that we don't exercise, not because we don't have good health. We have enough health to do at least some exercise. It's more laziness, And once you do it, step out and do something, and then you feel, I'm not lazy anymore. I too can do it. It boosts your self-esteem and happiness. Exercise. And that everyone can do. Everyone can do that, And exercise, and while exercising, keep smiling. That also helps. Next, fourth principle. Gratitude. Practice of gratitude helps you become aware of good things around you. And when do we express this gratitude? Periodically, every day. At the end of the day, you can express. Express for all that you have in life. Express gratitude to life. Actually, see how much we have in life. The basic needs of food, shelter, clothing are being taken care of. Basic needs. Now we are sitting here. Are you worried about your lunch today? You are not worried. You are sure that you will get food. Some food, some you are getting. Not only lunch. You are not thinking about your dinner. You are assured that you will get dinner tomorrow, next day, next whole week. The rest of the life probably you are not worried about your food. Millions are there. They are not assured of today's lunch. Why me? Gratitude. Similarly, clothes. We have shelter. All these basic needs are provided. Be grateful. Be grateful. Whatever. Be grateful. And then smile. Thank you, God. Thank you for providing this. And there is one prayer which I like most, use very often. This was made famous by Dag Hammarskjöld, who was one of the initial Secretary Generals of UN. The prayer is this: God, for all that has been, thanks. To all that shall be, yes. This is a prayer of gratitude, actually. For all that has been, thank you, Lord. To all that shall be, yes, I am ready. That is, you can call this a prayer of gratitude. This can also say that this is how you are expressing your love for God. When you love God, you accept everything that God gives you. Everything God gives you, if you love God. So, for all that has been, thanks. To all that shall be, yes. And we can sincerely say this at the end of each day. Every day we can make it a habit, expressing gratitude. Paramahansa Ji wrote, all sufficient one, that is God, God doesn't need our thanks, however heartfelt. But when we are grateful to Him, our attention is concentrated for our benefit, highest benefit, upon the great supply, upon the great source of all supply. So He doesn't need our thanks. God doesn't need our thanks, but it helps us. It rewires. In another place, Guruji said, thanksgiving and praise are open in your consciousness the way for spiritual growth and supply to come to you. Spirit pushes itself out into visible manifestation as soon as a channel is opened through which it can flow. A channel is being opened when we are expressing our gratitude. Here, where we are being receptive, gratitude. And another one, sleep. Have good sleep, depending on your needs, body, other things, whatever number is required. Don't try to compromise on that. Healthy brain functioning and emotional well-being, that they are assured if you have good sleep. Another principle to be happy is random acts of kindness. Acts of kindness. One is going once in a while and helping. Helping those who are in need, you can help once in a while. That is okay. We yearly once, yearly twice, we just go out and give some donations and that is okay. But it should be a part of ourselves, dealing with people with compassion. That is an act of kindness when we are compassionate to people around us, in daily activities. Whether it's a casual meeting or a business meeting or whatever it is, a social just get together. When person is in front of us, the thought should be, what can I do to make this person a little more happy? That should be thought. Whatever may be the interaction that's going to happen, it may be business interaction, or it is social interaction, or a loving interaction with the family members, whatever it is. The guiding force should be, what can I do to make this this person a little more happy? That should be the guiding force. And making happy the other person could be just a word of consoling, depending on situation. A word of praise, or a word of condolence, depending on situation. Something that if you say, that will be very thing. That's compassion. I'll just give an example. Suppose you took a taxi from the airport or railway station. You reach your home and you get off the taxi and give him that money, whatever is required, and walk into the home. No one can find fault with you. You have done your job. You paid him. He served you, you paid him. That's finished. But while giving that money, just look into his face and say, thank you so much. You brought me so quickly. Although the road was bumpy, but your ride was smooth. You have done such a good... His face brightens up. Just say that thank you very much, ride was smooth, and you don't lose anything by saying that. But we don't have time. We don't have that thought. Because what happens is, he is almost as inanimate as the taxi itself. Taxi driver brought us. That's it. No difference between taxi and taxi driver. Instead of that, just look at him. That it was about to rain. If you're not there, I would have been delayed unnecessarily. Something you tell, you can create to make him a little more, I did something here. He feels that my ride was smooth. Something he feels. A simple thing like that. So any person, anyone, family members could be. We take for granted, spouses actually. For example, so much effort is put in and food is prepared, we just take food and go. Why can't we say that today is really good? It's much better than yesterday's. And which we are enjoying also actually. We don't have to create. But appreciation, that is a random act of kindness actually. Otherwise, not that, no. So that is important. That is important. Guruji said, rather than be always striving for personal happiness, try to make others happy. In being of spiritual, mental, and material service to others, you will find your own needs fulfilled. As you forget self in service to others, you will find that without seeking it, your own cup of happiness will be full. It is spiritual principle. When you are making the other person happy, you feel some joy inside, some joy. It's a matter of habit actually. What can I do to make this person a little more happy? It could be regular servant maid daily. She's coming home, doing something, going, finished. Say something. Next. This very important point we have to remember in pursuit of our happiness. Be realistic, be practical. Being happy doesn't mean you feel pure joy and cheerfulness every hour of every day. That's not practical. Being happy doesn't mean that we are so cheerful and so joyful every hour of every day. That you should remember. Human lives are not designed that way. No? We have to accept it. If you are the designer, you can create different lives. That's okay. But now we are not the designers. Someone else designed. God has designed this human life. This is not meant to be that way. Every hour of every day is going to be so cheerful for none. You experience, that you means you and me, we experience setbacks. We experience problems. We experience even loss of loved ones. No, it can be different kinds of problems. And these negative feelings are an essential part of our emotional life. They are part of our life. The experts say that happiness means accepting negative experiences and having the skills to manage and cope with them and to use them to make better decisions later. Learn the lesson. Wise people learn the lesson and forget the experience. The experience has given us so much pain that whatever may be that experience, learn the lesson from that experience, but forget the event. That is required if you want to be happy. This art of happiness. Learn the experience and forget the, learn the lesson and forget the experience. That is this one. Guruji said that a smooth life is not a victorious life. We all want to be victorious in life. We want that victory. But if you want to be victorious, don't expect a smooth life. No, it's going to have its own ups and downs. And another point, overcoming challenges gives a deeper fulfillment. and hence lasting happiness. So be optimistic. Challenges have a place in our life. Challenges have. When we eventually overcome the challenge, we feel a deep fulfillment. You can appreciate your own patience. You have patiently tried and tried. And only now you are able to see the result. But you have gone through that. The question is this. Sorrowful events come into our life. There's no escape. The question is, when something painful happened, we feel troubled, definitely. Sorrow is there. I accept it. But my question is, how long I am in that sorrow? That's my question. When I feel very sad, sometimes I don't blame myself. Okay, it's a sorrowful event. I'm feeling sad. Okay, but how long I am in that? That is my goal now. I acknowledge that I have a right to be unhappy. That also I acknowledge. Something happened, I have a right to be unhappy here. But how long? That's it. The spiritual person comes out quickly. And here meditation helps actually. Meditation helps. I have one example. There is one widow. She was very elderly, some 70 plus or something. For anyone else, there is nothing around her to be happy about. She was a widow, and she had one son. He passed away early because of some disease or something, passed away. No one else, and she didn't have many resources, finances, very limited income. Somehow she was managing her own health issues at the age of 70. All that, for anyone else to look at her, there is nothing to be happy about. She may even think that, why I am there now? Why God is not taking me away? Like that situation for her. But she was always cheerful. She was always cheerful. And people used to envy. Then someone asked, how is that in the midst of all these problems, you look always cheerful? She said, the entire water of an ocean doesn't drown a ship, and unless water enters into the ship. There's so much water, but ship's still floating, it doesn't sink until some water goes into the ship. Similarly, all the problems outside, I don't allow the problems to go within. That's it. I'm not denying the existence of challenges and problems, but I don't allow them to go within and disturb my inner peace. That is it. In the midst of problems, still we can be joyful. Actually, one way is regular meditation. I have seen it. Personally, there are difficult issues, painful events, something very painful. Okay, that is there. Problems were not resolved. Still that source of unhappiness still exists. I go for meditation. Usually I have my meditation timings, morning, evening. I go for meditation. After meditation, it's completely different. My attitude, my feeling, everything is different, although the issue is still there. It has not yet been resolved. Still there is no solution. It is still there. But my attitude has changed. That period of meditation, that has changed my attitude. That is meditation. That's meditation. You may not have a solution, but you just have inner assurance. It's okay. That is, that's where meditation comes into picture. Every day we have to do that. You imagine yourself what was the state of your mind before meditation and after meditation. Meditation helps. Next, another point. Compliment others. Compliment others. Sincere compliment to someone will brighten his day while boosting your own happiness. Like taxi driver we were talking about, it will brighten his day, it boosts your own happiness. So, also learn to enjoy others' victories instead of being jealous. That also. No, for instance, two teams are playing, say cricket or football or something. And we may have interest in one particular team. If it's our country, we would like our country to win. There's nothing wrong with that. But unfortunately, the result is the other way. Somebody else, whom you don't support, wins. Then there is pain, there is something. But all day long, instead of criticizing people, this and that, immediately start appreciating how skillful they were. Just appreciate the skills. See that they have done that way. At that point, he did this. That's why they won. Something like that, you shift your attention, sincerely complimenting the people. Then you don't feel so depressed. So, learn to appreciate others' victories. That is important. That's important. And sincerely compliment. When there is a possibility to compliment a person, compliment sincerely from your heart. That makes your heart joyful. Another principle, don't compare. Don't compare. This comparison, that always brings some negativity in us. This only lowers your self-esteem and makes us feel discontent if you compare. There's always something better in other people. They have more than what I have. If you compare, that way slowly, develop lower your self-esteem. It will lead to self-discontent. Don't compare because you are you. No one else is there. God has created you as you are now. So know that you are a very unique creation of God. No comparison in any way, in any respect, no comparison. A unique creation of God you are. You have a unique identity. Even after merging in God, why compare with others? That's beauty. See, even after we find our self-realization, after we get merged in God, even then you still remain what you are there. That is the beauty. So such uniqueness is there. God created you as a unique being. Until salvation you remain. Even after salvation you remain as unique. It's something like this. The contrary example actually. In ocean, you see waves. Wave is a part of the ocean. Wave is soul. Ocean is spirit. It has come. And each wave comes and it dances for some time as it has an independent existence. It goes back. Do you ever say that the same wave come again? No, some other wave comes. It's gone. It's not like that. As a wave, we came from spirit. But even after getting merged in God, that wave lost its identity forever. But even after getting merged in God, I am there. Even in God, I have all these different roles are there. We are unique. So why compare? Don't compare. Another point that helps to have the perpetual happiness is close and quality relationships. We have close and quality relationship with whom? With family members, with spouse, friends, community members, colleagues. With the quality relationship be there. That helps boost our happiness. Close relationships are the biggest factor keeping people happy throughout their lives. That's what researchers found. People with strong relationships are happier and physically and mentally healthier than those who are less well connected. Guruji said, the greatest of all happiness, next to divine happiness, is to be at peace with one's immediate relations, those with whom one must live every day in the year. Now, very easy to understand. Next to divine happiness, this is where happiness lies. To be in harmony with people with whom we have to live day to day. It's very easy to be very nice to a person traveling next to you in a flight or a train, because that's only for a few hours. That's not what we mean. With whomever you are going to live with on a day-to-day basis, either in the office or at home or neighbors, that is where it counts, the relationship. Basic principle is this. Relationships means it is more important to love than to be loved. People wrongly think that I am being neglected, I am not being loved. No, real happiness comes in loving rather than being loved. When we are loving, that gives more joy. It compensates even if we are not loved. More important to love than to be loved. Another important point is practice self-compassion. Because human beings, we make mistakes. Even if we don't make mistakes, we may not be doing what we expect ourselves to do. We are, each one of us, we have certain goals. We want to do this, we want to do this, and we may not measure up to it. Then we may fall short in our own expectations. But don't be depressive. Don't go into depression there. I am not able to do what I am supposed to do, what I thought I wanted to do, all that. Because we have to practice compassion, self-compassion. How do you do it? There are 3 principles here. Be present in the moment rather than dwelling in the past or looking anxiously to the future. It's only past that helps us depressed, go into depression actually. Past, that it happened, I did this. No, be in present. Understand that setbacks are a part of human. All people experience them. Cultivate a warm, supportive inner voice rather than a hostile, self-critical voice. Now, one example I give this. Suppose you faced some setback in the business, or you lost your job. You lost your job. Then definitely there is pain, there is depressive feeling, definitely, Then you think of one of your friends who had the same setback. He lost his job, or he met with some failure in the business or some health issue. He is suffering some problem. Then what do you do? You write a letter and tell him, the life is not over. You will find another job, I'm sure. It's a test now coming. This test you have to somehow pass. Guruji is with you. You have enough skills. You are talented. Someone needs you. Something you will tell him, to boost his morale. He says, just health. Just because of this ill health, you should not feel so depressed. There are medicines, this, that. Something you keep on doing. Write the same letter to yourself. When you have that difficulty, when you are going through that, you tell yourself, this is not all. It's okay. Days are not going to be like this. It's improved. But I can live with this difficulty also. Whatever it is, you write that letter to you as if you are writing to one of your close friends. That self-compassion is also required if you want to be happy at will. Happy. That's not of being happy. Another thing, attitudes are more important than the facts. Something happened, but attitude toward that incident, that's more important than actually what happened. And it is said, the happiest people in the world are not those who have no problems, but those who learn to live with things that are less than perfect. It's not that everything is perfect, that's why you're happy. The happiest people are those who are able to live with things which are less than perfect, but they learned the way to live with them. Now, other principles are there. Deep breaths also help us get out of any depressive feelings. And meditation, of course. And I would not say just meditation, I would say regular meditation. Regularity, we all meditate, but the question is regularity. Giving enough time every day. Every day. Every meditation must count. Guruji said, the way to freedom is through service to others. The way to happiness is through meditation and being in tune with God. The way to happiness is through meditation. No escape. We started from that, we are ending with that. Science of meditation, science of happiness is, foundation is meditation. The art of meditation, foundation is meditation. There is no escape. I would like to quote one more and then go into some affirmation. Guruji wrote, mankind is engaged in an eternal quest for that something else he hopes will bring him happiness, complete and unending. Mankind is in continuous search for something else that will give him more complete, unending happiness. For those individual souls who have sought and found God, the search is over. He is that something else. He is that happiness we are all looking for. That. And how? Through meditation. Because God has no favorites. God has no favorites. If He has given that unending joy to some people, that's because they made the effort, conscious effort, following the art and science principles of happiness. So we also will. Now, just revise what we have discussed and then we go for this one. What are the principles? One is happiness is both an art as well as science. Scientifically we can be happy, that's meditation. When we do it, so much is happening in this. And we interiorize ourselves, go within, that is antarmukhi, pratyahara state, where we touch our real source, which is Satchidanand, ever new joy. That is, so meditation takes us inside, that inside we have that unconditional joy. So that's the best way to be happy. And then there are other principles we can follow, like first of all, making a decision that I will be happy. I will choose to be happy. Next, simple thing, smile. Keep smiling. The moment you smile, dopamine increases. And that gives a nice feeling of happiness. Smile. Exercise. Express gratitude. Good sleep. And be compassionate to yourself. Overlook your own failures here and there. And service to others. Compliment others. Even little things they have done, appreciate. And good relations with people around us. All these things lead us to that lasting happiness. Okay. Now, we'll all practice one affirmation on happiness and then close. The words are this. Joy is my birthright. I touch that joy through regular meditation. I will be joyful irrespective of the circumstances. These are the three sentences we repeat again and again. You repeat after me, and then mentally also we should repeat. Okay. Sit in meditation posture. Visualize Guruji at Kotastha and seek his help first before we start this. Joy is my birthright. I touch that joy by regular meditation. I will be joyful irrespective of the circumstances. Joy is my birthright. I touch that joy by regular meditation. I will be joyful irrespective of circumstances. Joy is my birthright. I touch that joy by regular meditation. I will be joyful in spite of circumstances. Joy is my birthright. I touch that joy by regular meditations. I will be joyful irrespective of circumstances. Joy is my birthright. I touch that joy by regular meditation. I will be joyful irrespective of the circumstance. Joy is my birthright. I touch that joy by regular meditation. I will be joyful irrespective of the circumstances. Joy is my birthright. I touch that joy by regular meditation. I will be joyful irrespective of circumstances. Joy is my birthright. I touch that joy by regular meditation. I will be joyful irrespective of circumstances. Joy is my birthright. I touch that joy by regular meditation. I will be joyful irrespective of circumstances. Let's go on in whisper, then mentally. Let us close with a prayer. Heavenly Father, Mother, Friend, Beloved God, Bhagavan Krishna, Jesus Christ, Mahavatar Babaji, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswarji, Pujya Gurudev, Paramahansa Yogananda ji, saints of all religions, we bow to you all. Divine Beloved, we thank Thee for all Thy blessings, for all that has been. Thanks to all that shall be. Yes. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.